Well, oh, I have to click something here. Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to be with you again. I've been so spasmodic about getting on your programs, but I'm eliminating a couple of things in my life, so perhaps it'll work out that I can be a little bit more faithful. But I actually had a question and answer for each of you. Now I know your names, and they're printed on. Well, Janet's isn't printed on, but she Cindy told me who she was when she came in. So, but since I know your name, I'd like you to tell me what town you're from, how long you've been working with the. Oh, we lost somebody. How long you've been working on this fibromyalgia question, and then something new, something about you that I don't know. And Janet, we lost Janet. Oh, and Ron's leaving.
Yeah.
Well, now we're down to 3. Okay, so Susan, you're up. Where are you from?
I'm here because I'm a friend of Cindy's. I've been actually off and on email pen pal with her for like 20 years or something. So yeah, and we connected in many ways. And I actually live in Toronto, Ontario.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Cindy said I was from Toronto, so that's it.
Okay. So what's something fun about you? Or something?
I belong to a lot of groups.
Oh.
I kind of write short stories of Cindy knows. I try my best. So yeah, that's about it.
Okay. So well, we have Dorothy. That's good. Since
Hi. Sorry, I'm late.
How about Janet, you tell me a little bit about yourself. Where do you live? Well, I think you live in Plymouth, right?
I live in Plymouth, Michigan, the township, and I've had fibromyalgia for quite a while, and Raynaud's and a few other conditions too that go along with the fibro, the low thyroid, and just the normal everything that everybody else has had. So, be interesting to hear what you have to say about our info here with Shaklee's. So.
Okay, Dorothy, what I had asked was that everyone tell me where you live, how long you've been struggling with the fibroid, and then something fun there. Oh, I don't know if Janet told us anything fun about yourself. She can think about that.
Am I still on mute? I don't know. Hang on.
Pardon?
I'm not now. My husband and I met roller skating. I'd still like to be able to roller skate, and I had a hip replaced, so it'll be interesting to see whether I can get out there and bounce out there with everything I hear about Shaklee. So anyhow, thanks.
Maybe get a walker with wheels.
Yeah.
You're brave.
Yes, you are. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, Dorothy, a minute about yourself.
Hi. I've struggled with fibromyalgia for about 30 years now.
Wow.
And back when I was first started getting symptoms, of course, nobody really knew what it was, and so people would tell me it was all in my head. My doctors couldn't find anything on the lab test, so surely it must be in my head. So I've had some rough times, but thank God I've had more good days than bad overall.
Oh, good.
And so over the years, I just learned to manage the symptoms better and to slow down, when I'm not feeling well, and pace myself more. So I always try to look for ways. I don't like to take a lot of medicine. I always try to look for alternative ways to help myself feel better. Something fun is I have 7 grandkids that I love to interact with. They're getting older now, so they're not as much fun, but but I still have loads of fun with them. My husband he retired 2 years ago, unfortunately during COVID, so we haven't really done a lot. We had planned to do some traveling and that kind of thing once he retired, but hopefully we're on the tail end of this COVID and we can go about enjoying life a little more.
Great. And where do you live, Dorothy?
Oh, I live in Detroit, Michigan.
And where in Detroit?
Near Finkel Telegraph area.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Right on the border of Redford.
Right. Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I lived in Redford 35 years, right?
Okay.
West Chicago and Telegraph.
Okay. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, people, when they say they live in Detroit, they don't think I know where Detroit is. And,
Okay.
I came to Detroit in 1954, lived in Highland Park and worked at Sears.
Oh,
I
really?
know the
Okay.
neighborhood.
Yes.
Maybe
Yes.
not what's there now, but I know approximately,
Okay. Okay.
I lived on Eileen, I lived on Griggs, I went to school on Myers, so I know the
Oh,
direction.
wow.
Yeah.
I had relatives that lived on Eileen. Okay. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like I said, that was a while back.
Hmm.
So, now Cindy said everybody was supposed to mute, and I can understand if you have some noise, but then on the other hand, I was hoping we could just like chat. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and so just to have some input. Oh, and the first one is like, how do you start your day? What is your simple routine in the morning, and what kind of food do you start your day with? Just you can just um pipe up anytime you want. Let's have a chat.
Let's see. Me, I have cereal. Sometimes I have berries in it. I cannot put milk in my cereal. A couple cups of coffee, sometimes a banana, and then take my pills, but not for fibromyalgia.
Okay.
And then I go on the computer
Oh, okay.
while I'm eating all this.
Oh, don't spill it. Don't spill it on your computer.
No,
Okay, anybody else?
I'll go. I get up in the morning around 7:30 most of the time. I have my cup of coffee. It's decaf. I can't drink caffeinated anymore because I notice when I drink caffeinated, I get like the jitters or I'm like all hyped up and stuff, but it does do the trick. And sometimes I'll have cereal, sometimes I'll have eggs or pancakes, but not too often because I don't want to eat like too much unprocessed foods and things like that. And then what else do I do in the morning? Just take a shower and just start my day, whether it's cleaning or whether it's working on my fibro stuff or doing some errands or visiting my sister. And just keeping active, trying to keep active throughout the day with exercise too, like walking and things like that.
Okay. Let's see. We've got Dorothy and Janet.
Well, I have yogurt usually with my husband. We have fresh fruit. We always have fresh fruit and vegetables in the house. So we try to have that, and we'll have maybe an egg, and we'll maybe have one piece of toast. And I do like my caffeine in the morning, and in the afternoon I'll switch to decaf, and I seem to do fine with that. I try to keep my set hours from the night before, usually before 10 o'clock going to sleep and getting up pretty much like 7, so it works for me. And then I get going, starting the wash or doing little tasks around the house. If it's taking the dishes out of the dishwasher or whatever, trying to be mindful of those hours we're supposed to be using all of our appliances and stuff. That's kind of what I do. And I stretch in bed when I'm in bed. I don't take any meds for fibro. I have tried some frankincense. It's a tablet, and they kind of have yogurt with that in the morning. I think vitamin C helps with arthritis, and I take some things, extra supplements, glucosamine, and I take turmeric, and I take ginger, and more of the natural supplements. I do get very stiff in the rain, but that's it basically. I'm stretching out. We try to listen to the news, and then we get our day going. So my husband works from home, so works good.
Oh, okay. No wonder he's there to help you with the computer.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, Dorothy, any thoughts?
Yes, my mornings are a little slow because I'm so stiff when I first wake up in the morning, so achy. And so sometimes it takes me a while to get moving. I usually wake up around 7-ish. That's if I don't have insomnia. Sometimes I wake up at 4 or 5 and can't go back to sleep. But I usually wake up around 7-ish. Like I said, I usually get off to a slow start. For breakfast, I usually have some cereal and toast, maybe some turkey sausage. Maybe a couple times a week we'll have eggs. And then I try to start moving with, getting some chores done. I got, my house is a colonial, so I have stairs. When I go laundry, I have to go down 2 flights of stairs, which always tires me out kind of. But I try to pace myself and go about my chores and try to get out at least 3 times a week, to run errands. And, we have doctor visits. In fact, I, had a doctor visit today, which is why I'm running late. So I try to stay as active as possible, but mindful that I have to pace myself as well. And then usually in the evening is when I get a little spurt of energy because I started out slow. So then in the evening, sometimes I get a spurt of energy and, scurry around and do a few things.
Okay. So, I was gonna, I don't know, I don't want to take too long because I do have a little thing I want to do toward the end, but, I think we have about 20 minutes left on this segment, correct?
I think so. We're gonna get that reminder pretty soon, telling us
Oh,
to get.
okay, well, I was gonna ask, has anybody noticed anything particular that makes your fibro worse?
Definitely stress for sure. When like family members stress me out or they criticize or they say, oh, you have to exercise, you have to do this. I know a few family members that are old fashioned. They don't believe in fibromyalgia and stuff, but I'm just going to not let it bother me anymore and just tell people how I feel, because I think years ago I was afraid to tell people how I feel. I kept everything built up inside here, and it just building that up for years and years and years. Plus I had responsibility babysitting my autistic sister Kathy, and my parents had to go to weddings, things and then we have our grandparents babysit us sometimes, like if they had to go out. So just stress, like I said, and also like the weather. I'm sure all of you ladies know about that.
Yes.
It's extremely cold, damp, and even when it's like extremely hot in the summer, I can't deal with that, or especially the humidity.
Okay. Anybody else have something different?
Just about the same. Stress, of course, makes my symptoms flare up. But the weather, the changes in the weather, even whether it goes from hot to cold or cold to hot, weather changes affect me a lot. Especially in the wintertime. I keep saying I'm going to go somewhere warm and spend a month in the winter, but I haven't done that yet. And when I overdo, on days I feel well, if I overdo it, I feel good. I'm gonna, do all these things that I'm laid out for the next 2 or 3 days.
One of you had mentioned Raynaud's, and I had Raynaud's at one time. And remember the middle fingers, and the toes just going to white and ice and stiff and but I don't have that anymore, so that's good. Well, maybe this is redundant, but have you seen something special that you've noticed that's really helped other than getting rid of your stress? You mentioned, is it I haven't really studied a lot about fibromyalgia. So is it recommended you not do exercise? It seems logical to me that you would do a little bit what you could.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But none of you mentioned that when you got up in the morning or any other time.
I did.
You
I
said,
did.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Janet did.
I did. I do stretch. I do.
Stretching, yes.
I missed that.
Yeah, I have a routine when I go down to do the wash. I do everything. There was an instructor that did pool exercise at a pool in Westland, and I basically do all the exercises that she asked us to do in a pool, and I do that with weights. If it's even a simple detergent bottle or something, I lift my weights and do things. I also have like a Nautilus equipment I do, and I use an exercise bike, and I say, oh, gee, it takes forever. If I'm going to wait another half hour for my wash, I'll say, I can be there. I can hear the bell go off, and I know I got a half hour's worth of bicycle again. So I'll get on a stationary bicycle. I have a platform to get onto it to raise my leg over it. I mean, all these little things where I have a tool that helps raise a leg into some kind of a pressuring thing that I can put 50 pounds of pressure or 100 pounds of pressure. So for having fibromyalgia, I can do that. I can shovel snow. I was sawing down branches of
Wow.
tree, so every once in a while there's something I see that has to be done. And my husband was on restrictions for his eye for a really long time. So for the last 3 months almost, I've been shoveling. I've been doing all that stuff by hand. And yeah, the dampness kicks my rear, but I keep on going. And I have Raynaud's. I do get stressed sometimes. Every time I'm in church, the people go, they all know I have Raynaud's because my hands are so cold, but they don't turn white. But I noticed that when my parents passed away and I was going through photograph albums trying to figure out what kind of pictures to put on a poster board, that emotions can tie up that Raynaud's to make the hands almost look purple. So you know, you have ways to think yourself out of things, but sometimes stress. I was involved in my parents' care 100% of the time. I did have a background in medical records, so that gives me an edge. But I mean, I was stressed out, and sometimes you need that extra help, and you can't get extra help for taking care of people. So I'm glad that's behind me with my husband's mom too, because she was like legally blind, and I too was taking care of her. So you go back and you say, oh my gosh, I could have been working so many more years, but would you have done it any other way? No, I had to drop everything after a 20-some year career in medical records as a sit-down job. And just to say that you have a sit-down job, you know what I mean? It's not the best thing. People say, oh yeah, you're protecting your body. No, it's not a good thing to be in a situation where you're on high productivity, doing stuff like that, that's always with your eyesight. I developed severe dry eye. I had LASIK eye surgery. I wish I had never gotten it. And I still have those situations with that severe dry eye with CPAP equipment. So there are stressors in my life that I have that I'm, you know, you can't be without it. So you have to keep on going on, because
Yeah,
what you're supposed to-
that's really good that that you've been able to overcome all those. I never had the
Yeah.
purple. I never had
Yeah.
the purple fingers, but
Yeah.
I was wondering, I don't know how it works with fibro, but with other circumstances, the environment makes a big difference. For
Mhm.
example, I have these pictures of children that were not able to write correctly because of chemicals in their schoolroom.
Mhm.
When they got rid of the chemicals, and you know, the mother, they could write more plainly. And,
Mhm.
and there's a book here, it's about ADD and ADHD, but a lot of things in our bodies are susceptible to chemicals. And this book was written a number of years ago. It's called The Impossible Child. And it actually speaks about getting all the chemical cleaners out of the home. And Doris Rapp actually suggests that a person try Basic H, which is our Shaklee organic cleaner. And then another place, when she's talking about, you know, things like mold and things can really affect us, our health, and about cleaning up things with the Shaklee germicide. So there's a lot of things to think about. And what really disturbs me, well, doesn't disturb me, but I think it causes people more problems, is when they bring home all these sprays and plugins that are supposed to be getting rid of odors of some kind. And what they're doing is they're just adding to the chemical mix in
Right.
the home. And so they don't, you know, all of these things affect us that we don't really realize. And so I don't know, maybe we will need all 3 sessions today, Cindy.
I think so.
So, and there's another idea of well, I know what I was going to say is, if you ever thought about using environmentally safe cleaners, I have buckets with samples of all of our cleaners that I could bring to your home and leave you for a week, show you how to use them, so you could do the laundry, do the dishes, you know, do whatever you wanted to try, see if they work for you, see if you like them. So I don't know, people will see something on TV and they'll run out to the store and buy it. If they don't like it, they just get mad. But ours, they always want to make sure they like it first.
Yeah.
So that's a good way. And the same way with you know, what we put on nowadays, they didn't use, I don't think they knew that when I was a kid, that what you put on goes in.
Mhm.
Now, I mean, now we know it does, because they use medicine, they use patches and things for pain and for medication. And so we want to be sure that what we put on our bodies is also not full of chemicals. And so one of the things I have fun doing, if it would be something that you'd like to try, is I do. You can meet have two or three people in your home and have a facial with our skincare products, or just for yourself. Or you could bring your friends to my basement and have it here. That would be something fun. And when you get some friends with you to do it, then I give you a free mask. But anyway, I know we're supposed to be talking about food, but and one of you mentioned that you don't have dairy. So I was wondering, is there any other food groups that you've eliminated that seem to help?
Gluten for sure, and yeah, the
that's-
dairy for sure. You know, like I'm lactose intolerant, so I can't drink regular milk or 2%.
Either.
It makes my stomach hurt, and bathroom issues after that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people sensitive to gluten that don't know it. A lot of us, people get sort of bloated up and have digestive issues. Well, the thing of it is they've done such a terrible job on our wheat over the last 50 years that, there's a lot of other countries that, I had a sheet downstairs, I forgot to bring it up, of all the products that other countries won't buy that we make. And I know several countries won't buy our wheat, and there's other countries that don't allow. So but that's good. Dairy, sugar, everything white can affect us, especially because fibromyalgia is in the arthritis family. And one of the things that makes me care about you is that I got into what I'm doing because I had arthritis. And I haven't had an arthritis now for years. But so the best way to do, if you want to eat good, is to go around the edge of the store. You buy them, like Cindy mentioned, the fruits and the vegetables and the protein, or maybe it was Janet, I'm getting mixed on who said what. But yeah, that's the best thing. And of course, if you don't want to have meat protein, then you have to be careful. And then Cindy knows about protein shakes, and there's another thing too. If we got together and tried the skincare, we could have a protein shake tasting. Or if you wanted me to drop off the cleaners to try, I could drop off a sample. Because the proteins you'll probably hear about that in a movie I'm going to show you later. But another thing that I think is really helpful, and since I don't know any of you, I can mention this with not any hard feelings, is to keep our weight in check. Because I know that fibromyalgia is more like, it's not really your bones, but extra weight does put pressure on all of our joints. So it has to, and then of course diabetes and all these things can set in, which are really ruin our whole life. But anyway, I wanted to ask you, what would each of you think of as what is healthy? What is healthy to you? Susan, what is healthy?
I guess it would be fruits and vegetables, which
No, I mean, what I'm sorry, I didn't say that correctly. What is being healthy? What do you consider
pretty much
being
what
healthy?
you said, keeping your weight down. And I have to keep my weight down, not because I have fibromyalgia, but I know I do have arthritis and I also have type 2 diabetes. So yeah.
Okay, so you think keeping your weight down is primary. Okay, anybody else? What do you figure it means to be healthy to you?
I think to feel well, to be able to go about your daily activities without feeling tired and achy all the time. Eating right and having a healthy gut, because that's a big issue with me. Sometimes I have problems with my gut. So overall, well-being, just feeling good to engage in your daily life. There's days when I don't feel that well.
Okay, anybody else?
I think feeling hydrated too. If you don't have enough fluids when you wake up in the morning, you feel like headachy or whatever. I believe in the saline rinses. I believe in the natural things. I picked up some natural cocoa butter for dry skin because we've got a winter itch. There's just, when you're healthy and you think you are the right weight and everything, supposedly, you just seem more outwardly happy. It's so hard to drop the weight despite exercising and eating right. I avoid artificial sugars. We use stevia in our house, and I don't even know if stevia is good anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting.
Okay, Cindy, what do you consider healthy? And I know we got 30 seconds or something.
Yeah,
But
we
by the way,
got.
if I'm not here when the rest of you get back, it's because I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Well, being healthy is having a good mindset for sure. And then putting that mindset to work, such as like motivating yourself to exercise and eating healthy and eating better nutrition and avoiding all that junk in the cabinets and stuff like that. Trying to avoid like processed meats and, sausages. And I mean, once in a while you can have that, but not like every single day, or burgers or, junk food and stuff like that. And also incorporating exercise into your routine. You don't have to overdo it, but like doing weights and walking in all of one day, but you can just simple as walking, taking a brisk walk around the block or two, or even down in our basement. My mom and I have a usual routine. Like if it's cold outside or rainy or snowy, we walk back and forth 10 maybe 20 times in the basement. And she's been doing really great with her weight. She put down, she lost like 25 pounds. I mean, not all at once, obviously, but during these past few months. So I'm really proud of her. So we do a workout together, basically.
Okay, good. Well, I had planned to show you a little presentation, but we will do that soon.
Yeah.
As soon as we come back, and hope you all come back.
Yeah.
No, we'll be back. I think we're down to less than 1 minute before we get kicked out of here. So I guess we should continue and go to number 2 now. It's up.
All right. Okay.
All right. See you guys shortly then.
I'll be back.
All right. See you soon.